Season 1, cool. Season 2, phenomenal, amazing, everything you could have wished for. Now, specifically this Yuji versus Choso fight, it was great, but then they started getting into actual, medicine, and I was like, I had to pause it, I was thinking, because I'm in the hematology unit right now, which is blood. So I'm like, oh shit, these niggas is kind of making a little bit of sense, you feel what I'm saying? And obviously that's what the video is about. Let's get into it. The fight starts, and you immediately see he uses his blood technique. I believe it's called casing. I looked a couple things up. From what I understood, this case technique, it allows him to control every aspect of blood in regards to plasma, the heat, the temp, as they said, coagulation factors. So he can control his blood to the minute details, which is very cool to me. I was like, we're in the heme unit, so I was like, oh wow, this is crazy while I'm watching it. So immediately, you see his perk out, and the first thing they say is, oh, he's able to stop his coagulation factors. And I feel like if you don't know much about coagulation factors in medicine, that might get a little confusing. So just to get that off, our body, we have a multitude of coagulation factors. V2, V3, that's what I call them, but that's 7 and 8, V2, V3, PT, PTT, there's so many coagulation factors that we have that our body makes. But for the sake of this video, just to keep it simple, I'm gonna just stress or talk about two. These are the big two ones. You have thrombin and factor 10. I would say those are your really big ones that allow platelets and things like that to happen. Now, for my assumption, let's just say those are the two coagulation factors that we're going with. He has the ability to stop those coagulation factors, and when he stops or when he inhibits those coagulation factors, he can manipulate blood in whichever way he wanted to, because if not, then damn, that's actually really good. If he could do that, then even though the blood was out there, it would the platelets would start to rise because of thrombosis and things like that, because of the coagulation factors. So now he can stop these coagulation factors, right? Very, very, very cool ability. As you can see, he's using it all to hit Yuji. The only thing that I kind of had a question about was, if you're stopping the coagulation factors, but maybe he can control it to the point where he can stop part of it and then make it solid at the end when it was actually hitting him. Because it wouldn't make sense for it to be hard. That's all I was thinking. I was like, it shouldn't be hard if there's no coagulation factors. But maybe he can just really manipulate it. He's just that nice with this technique, right? Now, really cool. He's using, he's stopping all coagulation factors. It's cool, he's using it. Now, Yuji's in trouble. Dude's, oh my gosh, what the fuck, what am I gonna do? Because he's getting his shit whooped, I'm not gonna lie. This nigga's nice, Choso, he's nice. And then they have this bright idea. Go to the restroom, let all the sprinklers off, and that's gonna do something. And Yuji didn't get it. And I feel like this is when it got really confusing. Mind you, that was already confusing, but you could just go, who cares? Who cares, you know what I mean? But then it got really confusing because he's there, he's with this technique, you see what's happening, and then all of a sudden it explodes. You have to understand the idea of osmolality, one of those two. So basically, if you have one red blood cell, a normal red blood cell, it's not bursted, it's not too flat, it's not shriveled, it's just a nice good size. Then you can have one that's extremely huge, like it's about to pop, and then you got one that's flaccid, blah, blah, blah. You can think of it as a balloon, a really huge balloon, a regular size balloon, and ones that has no air in it, right? So how do these things happen? This is the normal one, this is the one that you typically want. Now, if you put your red blood cells in a solution that is hypertonic. What does hypertonic mean? Hypertonic basically means that there's a lot of solutes, a lot of salts. There's a whole bunch of things, but solutes, I just like to think salt. Water goes to salt. So if you're in a hypertonic solution, the water will go diffuse to the salt. So then that's how you get the shriveled look. How do you get the bursted one? If you're in a hypotonic solution. Hypotonic means there's barely any solutes, barely any salt, just water. So now all the salt, the majority of the salt is in the red blood cells. So where's the water gonna go? To the red blood cell. And then what does it make it? Big. And then it makes it, I think you're getting it, all right? All right, so basically he gets there and he has all these, blood and they're standing right there, and he has them controlled. But now that the water's coming in, the water is hypotonic. We're assuming. The water is hypotonic. The red blood cell, or his blood itself, that would be hypertonic. It would be the one that has more salt. So when the water's coming down, the water's going into it and it's making it get bigger. Therefore, that's when it makes it burst. That's why Yuji now has the advantage, because he can't use that technique anymore because it has just been bursted. That makes sense. That was one thing, right? Mind you, all of this is really amazing. I think it's just really cool that they're implementing These are actual things. Like, I'm legit learning about this in medical school right now. You know, like, you would reverse a lot. I know the drugs that you would reverse this stuff with, right? No, that's nuts. It wouldn't work fast enough. I was thinking if you like put a drug, like if you put a coagulation factor in his body, like what if you administer like mad coagulation factor or something, like, I don't know, some way? Would that mess up the technique? It probably would. That'd be live. Like, that'd be a way to actually, like, that'd be tight. Now, the next thing that happened, which I thought was crazy, the nigga was like, all right, cool. I can't manipulate the blood anymore because when I have all those coagulation factors out, you know, the water can get in and then it'll burst, right? But there's one thing I can do. And he was like, you saw when he put the blood all over, his fist and he made it hard. So before he was making his blood very liquid-like or very anticoagulable, meaning that it can't get hard. So it's very liquid-like. That's why he can do everything. He can't do his long-range attacks. But now he made his blood thrombose. So he did the opposite. He made his blood harden. And this, I guess, would stop the water from getting in because it's hard. So now it has like almost like a sheet on top of it, so the water can't get inside of it, right? So now he made all of his blood hard around him, but he can't do any, emitter attacks, or he can't do any like, long range things. It's more, straight hands. And the thing that was very live about this, I can't even lie, they said that they were basically saying that this is a scary technique because if he does this, then like he risks it being uncontrollable in a sense that once he thromboses this part of his body, it'll become too much to the point where like an actual disease can happen. And that was so tight because it's so true, honestly. It's called like a deep vein thrombosis where you can get it in your whole calf. It's basically a red blood cell that has gotten really hard and its platelets come together, and therefore that's like a thrombosis. And that's bad for your body because then it stops the blood flow. It stops the blood flow, right? And this can happen just by you sitting down too much. So of course, him actually coagulating half of his arm can lead to some serious things. It can happen to us just sitting down. And like this, you can get one right here, and this one thrombus can get loose, go all the way to your heart. It can go all the way to the left side of your heart and then actually start fucking shit up like terribly. Like just this. So imagine him thrombosing his whole arm, or like it seemed like he was doing like half his blood or a good amount of his blood. Yeah, it can lead to some serious problems. You get what I mean? And obviously dude was like, listen, this is bad and I usually don't do this, but I got to because I gotta handle this nigga. And I was just like, damn, that's really tough because it would make sense that as we're regular humans that this would affect us. Like the little thrombus in our calf can go and affect us heavily. And it usually doesn't, don't get me wrong, it usually doesn't affect us. It's usually asymptomatic, but it can. And the fact that him, who was a whole, Jujutsu sorcerer, non-fiction, or my bad, fiction, it can, like him doing all this it's almost comparable, if you feel what I mean. And I thought that was really cool. I was like, wow, it's actually comparable. So now, how did that work? He added coagulation factors to his arm. Factor 10, thrombin. He added it, put it around his body, then hardened it. And that's what he did right here when he lifted up his shirt. He usually tried to punch him with everything he had, but he already had like half of it blocked off. And you could think, dang, why not just put all the blood all over your entire body? Because then you would have been solid, you would have been good. But he for sure would have been fucked. He for sure would have had systemic thrombosis, systemic embolism, or something crazy. It could have been a number of things, you feel me? So that's why he couldn't do it all over his body. That's why do you think he only did one arm? He's not trying to like fuck himself up because he knows it can lead to some serious medical issues. And that's why he only did this part. He could have done it over his whole body, but he would have been fried. He would have had mad diseases, thrombosis. There's a whole bunch of them. Pulmonary embolism, like the one that I was just talking about, left heart. Like it can lead to everything. Like you're just stopping your blood, and that's terrible. You gotta, your heart now can't get blood. Like it's a whole bunch of things. You know what I mean? Besides that, all I want to say is like, yo, this season has really been the fights. Like, cause I just gotta get my animation off now. The fights have been like the animation and the fights. Cause obviously like Demon Slayer is the king of like animation right now. That last season they did was mid, but like that season 3 or whatever with the white hair dude, like that was the best animation I've ever seen in my entire life. Like that's really, really saying something. But Jujutsu, in my opinion, I feel like they're getting extremely creative with their animation. Although, and I can't even say that, it's honestly very comparable. This season and everything Demon Slayer, it's really comparable, but like even their flashbacks, they're not just flashbacks, they're doing old animation. Like that's so hard to me. Like even in the show, I don't know if y'all noticed, everything's not animated the same. Like some people look different. Like sometimes it's a whole different animation style within the show, not just like on some funny shit, like legit the show. And I'm like, it's so nice, so creative. The fights speak for its fucking self. You know what I mean? Like every show's a movie. I have to admit they're doing a couple things wrong. I'm not gonna get into that, but a lot of things right, everything right, basically everything right. Like every time I tune in, it's amazing, and I really have to show them love. Like what they're doing right now is really impressive. But like besides all that, man, I really hope you guys like the video. I hope you learned a little bit about blood coagulation factors. That's what we're doing right now. What's it called? Yeah, Jujutsu is pretty good. Blood coagulation factors. Yeah, I think I explained it pretty well. You know, tell me if I'm wrong. Like I am just learning right now. Maybe I could be wrong. Pretty sure I'm right, but maybe I could be wrong. You know what I mean? But hey, appreciate you guys for watching. Love. See you later.